The first exercise is a side plank. So you're pulsing in an upwards motion with your hips stacked on one another. If you're feeling this in your quads, it's because you're leaned too far back. And if you're feeling it in your lower back, that means you're leaned too far forward. You want to constantly be lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. And again, we want to repeat this on the other side. So you're just lifting your hips up, pulsing up towards the ceiling, and then you're turning down to get your side obliques. If this is too difficult for you, you can drop down to your knees at any point in time. Then we're going right into a 15-second plank. This is a really short plank, so make sure you're doing it properly, whether you're on your knees or toes. Your belly button is drawn in and you're keeping a nice tight core. We're going straight into a high side plank, so same as before, but we're up on our hands. And again, you can stay on your elbow and knee if you prefer. And this time we're only doing 3 twists rather than 10. And then repeating on the other side. So again, the pulses are pulsing your hips up towards the ceiling, and you're keeping your joints perfectly stacked on top of one another. So that's shoulders, hips, and ankles. Then we're going straight into another 15-second plank. Glutes engaged, core engaged, and belly button drawn towards your spine. Another thing to be mindful of is your shoulders are back away from your ears. And straight into 10 shoulder taps and 3 push-ups 3 times through. The key to all of these movements is making sure your belly button is drawn in and your glutes and core are engaged. Make sure with the push-ups that your shoulders are back and down and you're not coming up into your neck. You don't want to feel this tense in your neck. Next, we're going straight into oblique hip drops. So the first 10, you're down on your elbows and hands, shoulders back and down away from your ears, core nice and tight. Same thing, but going up onto your hands only and getting that squeeze on each side for each repetition, and back down into a low oblique twist. We're doing this for a total of 3 times through for 60 twists altogether. If you're feeling this at all in your lower back, just stop and readjust or drop to your knees. You do not want to be feeling this predominantly in your lower back. This should be felt in your core and your side oblique muscles. Next, we're going into 10 up downs. So make sure whichever hand you press down with to get yourself up, you're either alternating that one or you're doing all on one side and then all on the other to make sure you're balancing them out. So for this set, I'm alternating. I'm pressing up with my left and then I'm pressing up with my right. Then we're going straight into mountain climbers. So this round I'm doing the same side for 10 and I'm doing a nice slow climber And then I'm switching and doing the other side for 10. So it's really important to keep a nice tight core here. It'll help you raise your leg up to get more range of motion, as well as focus on your core rather than on your hip flexor. So you should really be feeling this movement in your core and keeping that engagement when you go back into the up downs. So for this set, I'm pressing up 5 on one hand, and then I'm doing 5 on the other hand. So it doesn't matter which way, whether you want to alternate or do 5 on one and 5 on the other. Then opposite to the up downs, I'm alternating my mountain climbers now. So they're nice and slow. This is a core workout, not a metabolic workout. So we're really making sure we're getting that engagement on every repetition for these mountain climbers. Next, we have 5 stomach vacuums. So for these, we're breathing into our lungs and breathing out of our stomach. So we're making our stomach as small as possible. If doing this correctly, you should really, really feel a tight engagement deep in your core. And your breaths might feel shallow, but you're just trying to get a little bit of air into your lungs, and then squeezing all of the air out of your core and really drawing your belly button in towards your spine. Once you've gotten that really tight core, you're going up into a plank. So this should help you be really mindful of how a plank should feel. You want to hold on to this feeling throughout all of your planks. This is the feeling that you want to have to ensure proper form. Then we're going back into the stomach vacuums again. So we're doing this for a total of 3 times. So once you have your core as small as you can get it, then you lift your knees up and you hold that small feeling in your core and bring that into your plank. So you can see here, I'm holding my stomach in and I'm just raising my knees up and I'm keeping that tight core and holding for 10 seconds, and then we'll drop for a final round. So again, you're breathing out of your stomach, really creating a nice tight core, and you're breathing in a little bit to your rib cage, but you're really sucking all of the air out of your core. That's why they're called stomach vacuums. So you're really trying to pull in those internal core muscles to keep a nice tight waist. It helps with stability with your body as well. So really holding that foundation. And once you have as small of a core as you can, you've really drawn your belly button in as far as you can, then you lift your legs up into a plank. And this is where you engage your glutes and really, really hold this perfect form. And we're holding for 10 seconds.